Hi, I'm Abby, and this is Abby Performs. Today, I'm going to read you a draft of a essay I wrote that will probably be going into my memoir. It's entitled Liquid, and I welcome your comments, so please feel free to criticize the work in the comments below. This work is mine, it's original, so please do not use it without permission. All right, let's get started. When you're living in abject poverty, it behooves you to warm up to the knowledge that you're renting your own possessions, housing, clothing, your daughter's toys, even food. Furthermore, you're not renting to own, which has a way of simultaneously hyper-iterating the existence of the item in question. It draws constant and nagging attention to itself as it cycles through its states of resale and liquidation, and also vaporizing it completely. It's yours only by virtue of the fact that it currently takes up space in your life until you can't afford to have it take up space anymore. Correction, you can't afford not to have it switch places with money. This is viciously cycled by the fact that your needs are never a static backdrop to this madness, but instead increasingly self-complicating directly as a result of this wearing down process of inverse economy. A good example of this is when you eat junk because it gives you a cheap high to ride out the stress of not ever having enough, and then pay for it later with health issues that never really go away. But anyway, on to business. You don't have the time or energy to process this emotionally. Tonight, you have contingencies to plan, as in how to moisten and bind baked goods for breakfast with no eggs or milk. Additionally, there is the fractionation exercise. How do you leanly halve the recipe and construct 3/4 of a flax egg? It hits you. If someone were to enter your house and look around, absolutely everything could be sold or pawned or otherwise made liquid at a moment's notice. And some items have been, some even several times over. Your laptop computer is a good example. Your laptop alone is its own microcredit economy. You loan it to the pawn shop to buy it back, to loan it, to buy it back, to loan it, to buy it back, to loan it, to buy it back. To loan it. Each time you loan it, you're required to sign a contract in small print stating, if you don't pay our loan in full plus healthy interest, again for your own possessions, by a certain date, then your computer is placed on the floor to be sold at retail. In your house, most of what you own is purchased used from thrift stores. You only buy new what you absolutely cannot buy used: underwear, toilet paper, over-the-counter medicine, and bath and body products. Well beforehand, you're careful to develop a habit of not opening non-perishables until they are needed imminently. No consolidating or restocking ingredients. And no buying multi-packs for value. They're not labeled for resale. A risky return. Then, when the time comes, you search listings on the retailer's website to ensure your item is stocked. You grab a crumpled plastic bag out of the recycling bin bearing the name of the store in question, place the items in it, and head straight to customer service. On a bad return day, you have 4 containers of dollar spices. On a good return day, there's an unopened bag of gluten-free flour, sealed nut butter, and boxed toothpaste. High-ticket items. But you don't dare ride that high. You must still play return roulette. Once you've arrived at the store, you endure the shame and confusion of friendly transacting with a complete stranger to return an item that you may or may not have actually purchased there, while the associate behind the register dispassionately assists you in determining which truth rings truer, quite literally. As if you've stolen whatever you're holding straight off the shelf, they grill you with questions behind a veil of service. Is there anything wrong with it? They ask. Do you have your receipt? Each question you answer in the negative almost magically rips at your foothold in reality and strips you of another layer of your already outdated, ragged, stitched together, ill-fitting, torn, stained, worn, and passed down humanity and clothes you in layers of hot shame that tighten around your neck like a turtleneck sweater, which heightens your discomfort because you can't afford that proverbial sweater. If you're lucky, you get a particularly disinvested associate who could give 2 shits where you got your items, when, and how, and it's just a quick in and out. I need to see your ID. Actually, the ID turns out to be a real biatch because you've just moved from out of state and your ID expires today, so you must raise your voice and explain that today is not over, is it, when they refuse to accept it. Also, if you perform so many returns, and it doesn't matter of what, they actually deep six you and you cannot return anything, again, which is not what you want because you will likely need to eat that week. Whatever week. What week is it again? On the other hand, the answer to the question, what day is it, is of prime importance for a very small sliver of the week. Usually it doesn't matter. Saturday not enough, Sunday not enough, Monday not enough, Tuesday not enough. You get the idea. But Wednesday, you always know when it's Wednesday because Wednesday is payday. Payday hits and everything changes. On payday, a small pitcher of ice-cold water is poured on a desert that extends outward toward the horizon in all directions and deep, deep down to the earth's core. And in your parched, withered financial delirium when you've been changing your maxi pads more frequently because you don't have the right absorbency, or paying for gas and odd change that totals under $5, or your underarms are burning because you shave them without shave gel, or you can't look at another potato because all the food pantry has is 500 bags of potatoes, and you spend 5 hours a day washing dishes by hand because you finally have a dishwasher, but you run out of soap, and you use a washcloth instead of a dish rag because you can't afford to do laundry. You instead experience an oasis, and your household becomes a full to overflowing bacchanalian festival in which you glug down several dollars and cents, and needs, weeks unmet, are met. Not all of them, of course, that would be excessive. You can't make a dent in your $6,000 in medical bills, but you can chip away at your hundreds of dollars in overdue health insurance premiums. You can't buy the cotton balls, popsicle sticks, acrylic paint, and recorder instrument you need for homeschool, but you can buy a new $1 kindergarten workbook. You can't buy the new winter coat you need for the northern Midwest winter, but you can buy an $8 puffy vest at a thrift store to layer over your fall coat. That kind of thing. Oh, and about your wedding rings. 2 rings in white gold, his hand carved with a delicate vine-like braid encircling the band, and yours a thinner band into which a similar design was wax stamped, and atop which sat a cut sapphire solitaire, in sickness and in health, inscribed inside. In his, the inscription, in plenty and in want. The inscriptions matched your vows, authored by the state and spoken aloud in a courtroom, taken in matching black from mall clearance and maternity consignment, in the presence of witnessing strangers and a justice with snow falling outside. Sold for weight and melted down, they won't be coming back. Thank you. That was Liquid. See you soon.